Hey guys, Jess from the Recce here. Just here today to go through some stretches, some fascia release, some trigger point work, foam rolling, all to look after the body while we're on this little bit of a break. Look after those hips, those legs, and just keep moving and feeling good. So just follow along. If you guys got some sort of ball, a band, and a foam roller, then you're good to go. There's lots of different options. As most of you know, I am not the most flexible person, so most of these things are easy, okay? So give them a whirl and see how your hips feel after this, alright? Alright crew, so the first one we got off the rank is a hip flexor stretch, trigger point, whatever you want to call it. Basically you just need a ball, okay? Any sort of ball, tennis ball, cricket ball, golf ball, if you happen to have one of the fancy workout hard balls, okay? We're going to push this into our hip flexors, which is a bunch of muscles that allow us to flex from the hips, obviously. So we're just going to release that tension, okay? A lot of us have tight hips, so this is a good way to get it going. You're going to place the ball on the ground, okay? And you're going to find that happy spot, okay? Depending on how you're feeling, you don't have to put all your weight on there, all right? But just try and relax into the ball, okay? Move your hips around and enjoy the pain. This one is a bit of fascia release, so you need a foam roller. It doesn't matter what size, what type. Some people have the trigger ones, doesn't really matter. They are just a little bit harder on the body. Okay, so we're just going to do our hammies, our quads and our calves today. I might even throw in some glutes, but basically all it is just rolling out that muscle. So starting right at the top, just under your glutes, and rolling out to just above your knees and getting into your hammies from there, okay? My hammies are terrible, so this is quite tight for me, okay? You can sit and roll from there as well. Your glutes, just coming up onto it and rolling through the sides here. Gets out any knots, any tightness, okay? You do need to spend a little bit of time on each section, okay? Heading down to our calves. Now, my calves are extremely tight, so this is plenty for me, okay? The whole way up, the whole way down. Some people don't find that enough. You can put more weight on by crossing your legs, okay? And pushing that foam roller into that fascia a little bit deeper, into that muscle, okay? And rolling out through there. So calves, hammies, glutes, we're gonna flip over. Quads, same deal, starting right at the top of your knees, coming right up to the start of your hips. I also like to roll out my hip flexors through the front too, okay. Okay, so how I get into my hips is just coming onto one side and rotating through there, okay? You can roll on one spot. If you find a spot that's a bit tender, spend a bit more time on it, rolling up and down, put a bit more pressure on it. Okay, do try and spend probably 15 minutes doing this, okay? A couple of minutes on each section. Hey crew, just another stretch for you for those hips. If any of you guys do my class, you know I'm an absolute lover for this one here. Nothing fancy about it, just focus on tilting your hips underneath rather than leaning into it, okay? A lot of people get a bit confused with that one. So we're getting into the hip flexor from here. You don't have to lean into it like this, okay? That does help, okay? But start off just by tilting your hips up to the roof, okay? And then begin to lean into it, okay? You'll find you get a lot more of a stretch through the front, okay? And if you are super flexy, okay, tilt, and then you can lean into it that little bit more and it should pull through the front here, okay? Make sure you're getting both sides, spend a bit of time on them, okay? I do like to pulse through them as well, okay? Whatever's comfortable for you. If you want more as well, you can bring your heel up, hold the back of your foot, all right? Try that one, see how it feels, mix that in with the ball and stuff and your hips should be feeling great, okay? Alrighty crew, all you need for this one is a wall, okay? We're just gonna get into the ankle now, get a bit of movement through there, stretch your soleus, which is the lower part of your calf, okay? So for this one, starting a little bit of a distance away from the wall, okay? And you're just gonna lean into it just from your ankle joint movement, okay? Pushing in through there. If you can touch the wall, awesome. Take your foot back a little bit more. Okay, so this is the point where I'm not quite making the wall and my heel's starting to lift. So this is the spot I'm going to work on. Okay, coming right back, leaning right into it. Okay, you should feel that down the base here. I can feel it in my ankle joint, okay? If you do have dicky ankles, this is a good one. Just keep your back nice and straight and lean into it nice and straight as well. Okay, give that one a go, see how far you can get away from the wall. Hey guys, if you know Brad, this is one of his go-to stretches. So for this one, you need a foam roller and a band. This stretches all the way from the top of my knee, through my quad, up my hip flexor, okay? So if you do have tight hips, tight quads, this is an awesome one to get started, okay? It is a little bit of a pain to set up. If you have a friend around, ask them for a bit of help, okay? You're gonna take the foam roller and put it on one leg, okay? So that leg that's on the foam roller, you're also going to put the band on your toe and bring it up over your shoulder, okay? Once you've done that, heel comes up to your bum or as close to as possible, okay? And you're going to lay down on here, okay, and stretching through there. Less tension, more tension, bring your heel to your bum, your own control, that's what the band's for, okay? And the foam roller under your knee just gives you a little bit of elevation to give you a bit more pull. Alrighty crew, another one you may have trouble with is your piriformis, which is a deep glute muscle, okay? So one of the ones I like to use, okay, is the knee pull, right? So laying down, pulling your knee right up to your chest as high as you can. Okay, and breathing out, you want to relax into this one. Release. Come up again. Do this one a couple of times, and you can also mix this with the old ankle across the knee, okay? I do like to add a roll in here, okay, so you can roll away, taking your foot to the ground. Okay, I find it just gets a little bit deeper in that muscle through your glutes. Okay, and if you want a little bit more, you can lay down and pull up as well. Alright, whatever feels comfortable to you. Know your limits, don't push it too much, okay? Hold for a good period of time, stretch out of it, go into it again and go through a couple of times on that one, okay? See how that feels. Alright. Runners, this is quite specific to you, especially long distance ones. Your ITB band that runs up the side here, okay? When it gets tight, okay, it presses on your thigh bone. So we're actually going to foam roll around that, okay? People make the mistake of specifically rolling the ITB band itself. That is extremely painful, okay? Try and avoid that, okay? This is still going to hurt, okay, but a good hurt. So we're going to roll out your quad and your hammies through the back here, just sort of avoiding that ITB band specifically, but still getting nice and close to give it that release it needs, okay? So coming along the front a little bit more, right down to the top of your knee, right up to your hip. Okay, all through there. You can roll onto the front of your quad a bit more, and then on the back side as well. Okay, so those foam rollings we did before where we did our quads and hammies specifically, this will help with that as well. See how that one feels. Remember, don't roll specifically the ITB band, either side of it. Don't put too much pressure on it. If it is too much pressure, hop off, take a minute, hop back on, okay? The less weight you put on, the nicer it feels, okay? If it's not enough for you, then put all your weight on, okay? Have a go on that one. Most people's favourite finisher, child's pose. Just relaxing everything down, okay? Finishing off those hips. Okay, if you're inflexible like me, you don't get to go as flat, okay? But taking your knees out, sitting in, reaching forward, and just relaxing through your body, okay? Can take your hands to one side. Back out to the other. Alrighty, that's it. With all of those, guys, please make sure you're breathing through them. Don't put any more pressure on than you need to, okay? Some people are super flexy, can go right for it. Others are like me, okay, and need that pressure off a little bit or just can't go as far. That is fine. Go to where you can. Hopefully you'll see some improvements later on, and you'll feel heaps better throughout your hips and your quads and things like that, okay? Runners, this is really good for you guys. Look after those hips. They're important. Cheers, guys.